Let's talk about the biggest topic of probably the next 2 weeks, which is, of course, Russia and the Ukraine. This is the biggest thing there is to talk about. It's kind of a big deal because we're for sure going to stick our noses all up in it, and we could possibly come into a conflict with Russia. By we, I'm speaking, of course, from my home country, the United States of America. I really don't want to go to war with Russia. I think that it's a horrible idea. And the idea of nuclear war, I think, is rather frightening. And if you don't think that is, you're crazy. You're talking about, like, pretty much the end of the planet. But anyway, it's a big deal. Something crazy going on. In some ways, it's good news for old Joe, because as Eric July points out in his video, now we can just blame the Ukraine. It's the Russian problem. That's why inflation and gas prices are going through the roof. It's Ukraine's fault. Russia's fault. He's right. That's why he looks irritated in the thumbnail. I like his hat, the God of Thunder. It's a cool hat. But don't worry. Don't worry. As Wade Stotts says here, don't worry. Our military is on it. So don't worry. Things are going to be okay. The reason I'm talking about this, I saw this article. This came from Daily Mail, and it dropped yesterday on the 23rd, updated on the 24th. And it talks about, like, you know, so the reason I want to talk about this is, what if there is a draft? I don't think there will be, but what if we did, right? Think about all the crybabies on Twitter and stuff going to war, right? I asked this on Twitter yesterday, or I kind of poked fun at it, saying, what if we had an American draft? And I dropped this picture. You know what I'm saying? But we actually have a serious problem. The Army recruiters call us the Nintendo generation. What I mean by that is people 18 through 25. And because everyone's lifestyle is so easy and most people aren't even like athletic or do anything, most people are pretty stationary nowadays. And because of that, we're a little bit more frail than we used to be. I mean, we as Americans have life very, very easy here. I don't know if you realize that compared to other countries where if you want to go get some water, you got to walk a mile to the creek and then carry it on your head back. Like, we have a pretty easy life here. Even the poorest people in this country have it better than people in like a third world nation. It's just, we're a rich country and it's an easy life here. But if we were to get drafted, we'd be in trouble. Nintendo generation soldier skeleton is not toughened by activity. Army major says Gen Z recruits are at greater risk for boot camp injuries because of their sedentary lifestyles. Pretty crazy shit. Though, to be fair, like, most, like, ground troops aren't as essential as they used to be. I mean, we have so much like missile technology now. But I got a little chuckle out of it because, like I said, I think about the people that we would have to go to war here. You know what I'm saying? And in one way, it would shape them up. We've had peace for a long time, but America's Generation Z is more fragile and at greater risk for injuries if deciding to pursue a military career, an Army major said in a shocking interview. In a press release earlier this year, the Pentagon claimed that Gen Z's inactive lifestyle could lead to more challenges during boot camp training. The article, published on the department's Defense Visual Information Distribution Service website, also calls potential recruits aged 18 through 25 as the Nintendo generation, despite the popular video game console being more associated with millennials and Generation X. I think the reasoning for that is it's kind of just always been Nintendo. It's kind of like Kleenex and tissues. But anyway, they go on to say that the Nintendo generation soldier's skeleton is not toughened by activity prior to arrival, so some of them break more easily, said an Army major. The release adds, nowadays recruits are coming from a far more sedentary lifestyle compared to previous generations, and that their skeletons are far more prone to injuries because they are not used to this kind of intense activity. We see injuries ranging from acute fractures and falls to tears in the ACL to muscle strains and stress fractures, from the overwhelming majority of injuries related to overuse. Interesting stuff. Like, I think we have a lot of crybabies, and I think it would be hilarious to have a show that follows some of these people, especially the pronoun gang, as they enter boot camp. I'd watch that show. I'd watch that show in a second. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I just thought this was interesting, and it kind of ties in with what's going on right now. A lot of people talking tough, acting pro-war, when most of them wouldn't even survive boot camp. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, please subscribe. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, make sure to follow me over on Twitch. I do watch parties, play video games over there. They're always fun. Follow me over there and come hang out. Also, make sure you subscribe to YellowFlash, my other channel. There's a link to that in the description as well. I do a lot of live streams over there that I don't do on this channel. Usually smaller and a little bit more personal. So make sure you follow me over there and sign up.